Yeah, so I was young and, hitting the hood parties and rapping for the homies, and I kind of just was doing it for them and for myself because I enjoyed it. And then it just started getting out of pocket where, people wanted me to burn CDs and make songs, I kind of just had to slow down on the whole F13 Florence in my music. That was a little bit later on. At the beginning, that's all I rapped about because that's all I knew, that's all I seen. And it just kind of progressed, like I said, with people, expecting more of me as far as music-wise and, me tuning into my music and just, focusing on that. So I kind of paid more of a focus to the music rather than getting myself in trouble because that came along with the life and the lifestyle. Like, that was already a given. Like, you didn't have to go look for that. It was already here. So I continued with my music, writing, and then I started hitting the system real young, being in and out of juvenile halls, camps, whites, like everything, just being dealing with all of that stuff that I had to, sit there and write my music and actually got time to think about other stuff other than just my gang. And I was able to, see a lot more and open my perspective when it came to writing music, and it just kind of got a lot better. It just felt like, and I learned this from an older homie that told me, like, basically, you're not gonna get worse. Like, you're gonna go forward. If anything you do more than once, it only gets better. So I see that he was right about that, and I went with his theory and with his way of thinking, and it's been getting me to a lot of places that I didn't expect to be in at this time.
All right. So what age did you start hitting wave?
Well, I was in camp first. I was in a bunch of different camps. I got refiled on from camp. I AWOL from camp. Like, I went through a whole bunch of stuff. I think I was 16, actually, going to Youth Authority. I did my term, came home. I was home for like maybe 8 months. Got shot. I got shot 5 times with an AK. I was put in a coma for about, I want to say, 3 months. A month and a half was like medicated coma. No, it was real coma, and then the other half a month or whatever it was like medicated coma, sedated. They kept me sedated because I was shot real bad. I was gonna die. Like, they told moms that I wasn't gonna make it.
Damn, they told her you weren't gonna make it.
Yeah, they told her I got shot on Thursday. They told her by Sunday, like, it was a wrap. I wasn't gonna be alive.
Yeah.
So the doctors gave up on you.
Yeah, the doctors asked my mom if she wanted to pull the plug, and mom was basically like, "Nah, we ain't doing that." You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody gonna take them, we're gonna let God take them. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I guess God felt that I was still, had a purpose here, so I'm still here and up and running and doing what I gotta do to get by,
How'd you feel when you got out? Like, what was your attitude? Just that light?
I was on some whole fucking shit. When I first came home, it was like everybody expected me to be like calmer and not, really wanting to get involved with everything. Nah, I came home on some whole other shit. I felt like I was untouchable at the moment.
You felt like you beat death.
Right, you know what I mean? And I actually did. I got a song called Cheated Death.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that time I was still young. I was still heavily participating in everything that was going on, and I just, kept going. I didn't let that be like a bump. I just basically looked at it like a bump in the road rather than a stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna keep pushing. But at the same time, I still kept my focus with this music. I kept writing. I kept, telling myself that eventually I could be able to do something with this. You know what I mean? And it feels like every time I told myself that, it's come true.
Yeah. We kind of took it real far, real quick. Like,
right.
Like, let them know where you from.
Right. I'm from Florence. I'm from LA, right here, South LA, Florence district, Florence community. Florencia. Born and raised basically here. I was born in Inglewood, California, at the hospital, and brought to this street, Converse. That's why I got this Converse All-Star, because I'm an All-Star from Converse,
Yeah.
That's how we, there's only a few of us that have this. That's for the All-Stars, that's from the verse,
Yeah.
I say that we cons on the verse.
On the verse.
You know what I'm saying? Cons on the verse. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go back to the Lil Baldy. All right, so would you say when you went by the rap moniker Lil Baldy, that was more of your active persona?
Yeah, I always look at it like this. So I started off as Lil Baldy. Like me, my nickname from my neighborhood is Pelon.
Okay.
So interpreting that in the English language is Baldy.
Okay.
So it was a Lil Baldy because it was already a big Pelon. So basically I was Lil Baldy. I did my music under that name. Started with my partner Speedy. We started doing you know, little hood tracks, like I said, for the homies and shit. And it stayed with that nickname for a while until I was in prison and I was telling myself that I needed something more catchy, something more elder. Because Lil Baldy, I wasn't gonna be Lil Baldy forever.
Yeah.
I basically needed something more catchy, and Baldacci was like the first thing that came to my mind. Only because it's half Baldy, so it's like bald, and then the Achi just sound gangster as fuck. So I took that and ran with it. Then I started seeing book writers, David Baldacci.
Yeah.
I never had even heard of that until, you know, after a while, people start sending me pictures of it. Hey, you ever seen this book writer? And I'm like, oh shit, like I never have, but nah, it's cool to know, you know what I'm saying? I see they got Baldacci wineries, they got a whole bunch of shit under that name, but it's like, I'm using that name as an artist, and at the same time, we repping the face of Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how'd you get that name, The Face?
Well, I just felt like it kind of came to me, man, being that, you know, I'm from here, from Los Angeles. You know, there's other people that be like, oh, I'm from LA, but they're not from LA. They're from cities surrounding LA, or they might be from LA County, you know what I'm saying? But I'm from LA. I'm from South Central LA, like from the city. And, you know, I basically let the music speak for itself. Like, I don't sit here and encourage negativity or down talk other rappers that I feel are like least, you know, or under me or whatever. I kind of just, hey, you do your thing, bro. Whatever works for you, works for you. I let my music speak for itself, and it kind of gained me that title. You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't too many out here fucking with a motherfucker. And I'm not saying that I'm saying that in a humble way. You know, there always is somebody better, no matter what. You always gonna find somebody that can beat you up. You always gonna find somebody that's, you know, got more money than you. You gonna find, you know, a little bit of everything that's always an upgrade or a little bit higher than you. But at the same time, I look at that as motivation. I look at that as something to just strive and get myself in a position higher than the next.
Yeah.
And everything to me, I don't look at it as a competition, which a lot of people do. And I think that's where everything falls in place for me, is that I'm not always in competition with people. Like, you know, there's a difference between somebody that is competing with the next person. It's like you study too hard and you fuck that off because you're fucking putting too much into it. I basically let that shit go natural, let it flow, and I just, man, I abuse the situation when I'm in the studio, that's for sure.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Right. Thank you.
Let's go with. I want to speak on the childhood, man. I know you, and I watched one of your older interviews, and you was talking a lot about your admiration of your father.
Yeah, most definitely. My father, rest in peace, Big Sailor. He died in 2013. My pops was an alcoholic. He was a good man, really good man, well respected, well known, family to a lot of people out here. A lot of people fuck with him real heavy. He was just a known name, reputable name out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Really solid homie in the system. Every time I hit the system, who's your dad? Oh, Big Sailor. Oh my God, like who's the man? Pops a G. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people respected Pops, had a lot of love for him. I idolized him growing up. You know what I'm saying? I wanted what he had, what his fame, his, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it came to a point in my life where I had to kind of step away from that shadow and get my own. You know what I mean? And he seen that and he respected that. That's what I liked about him the most, is that he seen that I really wasn't using his name when it came to fighting with people, because people would run up and, oh, what's up? Let's box. And, oh, what's up? Oh, that's Sailor's son. Never mind. You know, and I'm like, nah. Don't worry about who my dad is. Like, I ain't gonna call my dad. Let's get this fade. Let's knock it out, and we good. But a lot of people used, oh yeah, that's Big Sailor's son. Like, don't mess with him type shit. But it grew a time where people started seeing that I'm not running in my dad's shadow no more. Like, I'm myself, I'm my own person, and we could take that fade without my dad knowing. Dad was always gone anyway. He was in prison like majority of my life. You know, so at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I grew up my own man. But till the end of time, I respect my pops and respect what he stood for, and everything that he, you know, embedded in my brain and put through me and my brothers and sisters through, and kind of like showed the love, the amount of love and the way he carried himself was insane. You know, so till the day he died, I respected my pops. I love my pops, and you know, I miss him a lot.
Yeah.
I miss him a lot for sure.
And I know you talked about that you look forward to the letters. You look forward to the drawings that he sent you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, a lot of kids probably would have gave up on their father.
Right.
Like, what was it that you didn't frown upon him being in prison and being away?
I think it took a while, only because, see, like my mom, she never tried to turn us against my dad. There is moms that'll be like, nah, your dad's gone. Don't respond to him. My mom let us, correspond with my pops while he was gone, and, keep in touch with him and write back to him, and, accepted the gifts that we would get, as far as like tumblers that had drawings on them or bandanas that had drawings on them. Like, that was nice, you know what I mean? I seen other people's dads that were out here on the streets that weren't doing shit for their kids. So to me, that was like, okay, even though he's gone, he's still showing some type of acknowledgement of his kids and writing to us and trying to give us the ropes and trying to, even if it's through pen and paper, he was still trying to tell us what to do and what not to do. This is the right way, this is the wrong way. Stay in the right path, go to school, listen to your mom type shit,
Yeah.
And when he was out here, he had a life of his own that he had to live. I understand that. He was part of the streets, but at the end of the day, he'd be at the park playing handball, smoking weed, and have me right there. You know what I'm saying? Sitting down right there. So he's watching me. You know what I mean? Like, whether if it might not be to some people's liking, some people might be like, you're not watching your kid. Yeah, oh, he was watching me. I was there. Anybody come mess with me, you best believe he was going to be on the ass. So I seen that from my pops, the few years that he would get out before he would go back, because he was in and out. So the times that he was out, he'd have me by his side, and have my brothers, my sisters love the same way. You know what I'm saying? Pops was a straight up dude. Like I said, everybody knew my pops, and a lot of people loved him, respected my dad.
Let me ask you, bro. Do you think if you grew up in the same environment, same hood, and you had the same influences around you, but your father was in the household, do you think you would have came out different?
Like so basically you're saying if my pops was home instead of being away?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would have still kind of turned out the same, only because me, when I was born, he was already who he was. He was already from Florence. He was already, part of the gang, and I just I admired that growing up, and it was like a chain reaction. My sister, my brother, then me, like type shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I followed all of their footsteps basically to be part of, it's a family. Now I see it as a family, not as a gang.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's people that I grew up with, people that I went to school with, people that I fought with, people that I didn't fight with. Like, it's all a circle of people that we grew up with in this neighborhood.
Okay. Now touching on that, what do you think attracts kids to the gang culture?
See, that's like a hard one, because there's so much stuff going on now, and I'm glad that there's a bunch of different things that are going on now, because they're attracted to other stuff. They're attracted to video games. They're attracted to whatever it is that got their focus. And to me, that's more than anything in life, is that they're creating new things for kids to look at and be more attracted to, rather than this that's not all that what it seems. A lot of people think, oh, they get into the gang for the girls or for the glitz and the glamour, but they don't understand there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they gotta go through being part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not simple. It's not something that I encourage upon nobody, myself. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting out here trying to recruit nobody. I'm not sitting out here trying to say, hey, you know what, join this gang. Like, that's not me. Maybe when I was younger and I didn't really realize until, I went through a whole bunch of shit. Like I said, being shot, being in prison, being in juvenile system my whole life. Like, now I see the bigger picture, and if I could school my nephews and my nieces and my kids, like, to tell them really how hard it is and not as easy as it looks, like, I want them to do the right thing. I want them to make the right choices and stay out of this. You know what I mean? Like, this is a game that was for the 90s. Now it's a whole different ball game. People telling, people got a whole different fucking, aspect on street culture and the street gangs. Like, it ain't the same. A lot of things changed from those years till now.
Yeah.
And I would, like I said, I would never encourage anyone to participate in that. It's always everybody's choice. You're a man, you know what I mean? Everybody gets to make their own decisions. But at the end of the day, if you can make the right decision and prosper without using this method, I definitely guarantee you and respect you, man, as a person, just to fly straight. You know what I mean? And make it happen.
You know, and I love that answer because I feel like as an entertainer,
Right.
you are a role model.
Right.
And I feel like you have kids that listen to your music.
Right.
So that's like I feel like a lot of entertainers need to be responsible because
Right.
and tell kids about both sides of the track.
Right.
And I think your music definitely does that.
Yes, yeah, and that's what I like. I try to explain a lot because a lot of people look at my music like, oh, he makes gang raps, he makes gang music. And it's not that, it's me talking about my life.
Exactly.
You know, growing up, this is what I went through, but I'm also explaining to you everything else that I went through.
Right.
So if you want to do all this fun shit that it sounds like, you got to deal with the dark shit too. You know what I mean? Like like I said, there's perks, but there's also those negative times that go on in your life that not everybody can cope with. Not everybody can make it out of that. Because it takes a strong individual to be able to be, you know, in a room for 23 hours a day and get an hour to shower and shave your head in that hour. You got 10 seconds or 15 minutes to shower and shave your head, and it's like you coming out of the hole with cuts all over your head because you got a razor this big. And you got to do all that in the matter of whatever time they give you. It's like, it's really, really hard. It's not easy. You got to be a strong-minded person to be able to deal with everything that comes along with it. That's just one thing that I'm just basically throwing out there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like not something that I want to encourage. Like I said, I want to encourage people to get yourself, you know, education. Education is everything. You know what I mean? Because I sat, while I was in prison, I sat in them dictionaries. I sat in them books because I knew my music, I needed to use words that people were going to be like, damn, this gang member using that word? Where does he get that word? Because I studied it. You know what I mean? I read it and I know what it means. So you could ask me what the fuck it means and I'm going to tell you what it means.
What made you start studying while you was in there?
I think a lot of the times you got so much time on your hands and it's like, get the basketball, the weights, because I was in the feds. They have weights in the feds for whoever's listening and maybe says, oh, they ain't no, you know, weights. There's weights in certain places in the feds. Every little thing, all that gets tiring. It gets old. You know what I'm saying? It's like a program that you get used to every single day. Like I get up, go eat breakfast, come back, shower up, whatever, go to the yard, play basketball, lift some weights. But then that's after a while, you still got more hours in the day. So you got to find something to fill in those hours in the day. And with me, it was a little bit of reading, you know, a little bit of writing. The TV is like always going to be there. It's like, I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to sit and watch the news and find out what's going on out there because that's the shit that makes you stress. Female-wise, too. When you got a girlfriend and you're in jail, it's like kind of hard to deal with because you're over here worried, well, what the fuck is she doing out there on the streets on Fridays? What is she, you know what I'm saying? So at my time, I try to do it kind of alone. You know what I mean? And of course, I'm always in there with my homies because we're always in the system. You always run into the homies. But even then, it's like, me and the homies, there was only a certain amount of shit we could talk about too. We'll go outside, talk for an hour, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go outside, like, I'm gonna go write a letter, I'm gonna go read a book, or it's like, and then you find the ones that stay out on the yard from 7 in the morning till 4 o'clock when they, you know, recall the yard. They're just sitting out there sweating and marinating in their dirty ass shorts. Like, nah, I'm trying to make my day positive. I'm trying to make my day work and worth being a day. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make it something where I tell myself, okay, today I did this, and this is the outcome that I got from it.
You trying to do the time and not let the time do you.
Right. That's exactly what it is, because the time will definitely do you, man. The time and the way the system's, you know, cut out, and the way these officers, they're built to make you stress and not want to go back. You know what I mean? And a lot of people get adapted to that. My dad used to tell me, don't become institutionalized. It's okay to understand the system and be able to get through the system without getting yourself in some bullshit, and just don't get used to it. You know, because when you get used to it, then that's when you make it a living in there. And that's what I did. I told myself, don't get used to this shit. Because I was in some places where I was comfortable as fuck. I loved it.
Right.
I was making money in that bitch. I was doing whatever the fuck I was doing, and when it was time for me to leave, I was kind of like, I was bummed out. Why I gotta leave? Bro, you going home? Gotta get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm sitting there like, damn, but I'm supposed to make some money this Thursday. Like, nah, fuck that money. Get up out of here, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that my dad kind of told me not to do. It's like, don't get used to that shit, because you'll definitely get caught in that tunnel that'll keep you there.
Right,
You know?
right. I did want to take it back to just growing up
Right.
on Florence. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of stuff did you see? Like, how was that for you? How was your experience?
It was kind of rough living out here, you know, in the city, because I mean, it's a lot of shit goes on like in every other neighborhood, man. It's not just this neighborhood. This neighborhood just happened to be one of the bigger ones, and you know, a lot of shit was going on growing up. You know, I just kind of like try to glide around all the bullshit and just basically stay out of harm's way, because it was lurking. It was running around looking for us. You know what I mean? And I kept my composure. I kept, and you know, jail had a lot to do with me staying alive. You know, me being in the system so much kept me off the streets and not in harm's way. Even though in there, you know, shit could happen too, man. A lot of shit happens in there as well. But at the same time, out here it was like a whole different world, man. Like, you know, and I feel like growing up over here was a blessing and a curse, you know, at the same time. A blessing because I love my homies, you know, I love my family, my people from over here. And the curse is because, of course, you know, the cops gave us a hard time for being from here and being, you know, having the last name I have because of my dad. And, you know, they dealt with him for years and years and years as well. So they just having that last name, me and my little brother, and then we had a rough time because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like it wouldn't end. It wouldn't end. It was rough.
Yeah.
You know something? I want to speak on that, man, because going back to your old interview, you gave me the vibe that you was born in, not sworn in.
Right, and that's what's funny about it is that I believe if I really wanted to just be part of it, I could have without having to go through the whole getting jumped in, because I had so much love. You know what I'm saying? My boys were already from there. Like it wasn't necessary that I said, hey, I'm gonna just join this shit. That was my decision. That was my choice. And like I said, we were born right here on this block where my homies is where we at. You know what I mean? Like it was more of a choice. I gotta say, like, it was my choice to just join and get jumped in the right way, the proper way, and you know, really be part of it. Like I look at it as a family, not as a game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not. We don't wake up every day saying we about to go out there and do bad shit. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, there's positives, things that are going on in this neighborhood. People, you know, doing, you know, stuff for the kids and stuff like that. Like, it's definitely not always negative. And, you know, I'm proud to say that I'm part of this neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm proud to be part of Florence. Like, I'm everything we do is for the better now. Like, a lot of positive things happening this year, last year, like a lot of positive stuff, and I'm you know, blessed, and everything that I do myself is for my family and for my friends and my people that I grew up with. Man, I want to see everybody come up and succeed, one way or the other.
You know something? I want to say something for the people that's watching this.
Right.
And when Baldacci touched on it, Florence is a community, not a game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to really listen to what he's saying. It's a community, not a game, man. Now, you kind of opened up the door a little bit. You don't have to speak on it if you don't want to. You was talking about that a lot of good things happened last year. Can you point out one of those things?
I mean, there's, you know, I won't mention certain gangs or whatnot, but I will tell you there's a lot more peace going on between places that would not see eye to eye for the life of me, bro. There's a lot more positivity in that, and I feel a lot of lives being saved because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people are alive right now because of that, and it's a blessing to see that. You know, to see my people be able to communicate with other gangs that we had no love for, no likes, no nothing. It was just all pure hate. You know what I mean? And now I feel like we're progressing and being the bigger man and looking at the situation like, okay, hey, we're all men. Like, why continue this? You know what I mean? Let's make something better for the kids that are growing up and going to school, and the kids that are you know, that's the future. The kids are the future. So why do we want this to continue and see our kids die?
For other gangs that are looking at y'all as leaders and pioneers and just trying to see like how the fuck do you pull that off? You know what I'm saying? That might want to.
Right.
Like
it definitely was trailblazing.
That part.
No, for sure. It's definitely something big, and you know, it just happened, bro. I mean, I can't sit here and explain how or who or what. It's something that happened, and it's something that, like I said, I'm blessed to be able to see with my own eyes and acknowledge and appreciate it, because it's not something that happens every day from people like, you know what I mean, like of our nature, from our hood. Like, it's not something that just happened, you know what I mean, and it did. It's like you wake up and there's snow in Los Angeles. Like, you tripping out, man. What the hell, snowing?
That's exactly what happened.
All you can do is appreciate it, bro. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? And like I said,
it's a beautiful thing, man.
It is.
And it definitely shocked. It shocked a lot of people. It's shocking. I was shocked.
Right. It left a lot of people in a maze and just, like he said, wondering how did this come about. You know what I'm saying? And it's, like I said, I don't even know. But at the end of the day, I'm for it, and I'm happy that it's, you know, it's peace now, because I mean, I want my son to be able to walk to the store. I want my little nephew to be able to walk to the store and get back with whatever he brought from the store, and not end up on a corner dead or arrested or because of everything that's going on. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a positive move and a blessing to be part of everything that's going on here.
Now, I just had some thoughts, man.
Right.
I wonder, how did the law enforcement feel about that? Because you'll think that they'll be excited about a peace treaty between two different neighborhoods.
Right. No, that would be the first thing you would think, is that people would be. I'm sure that not all of them feel the same way. I'm sure that they have mixed emotions and mixed feelings about what took place. I'm sure some of them are happy to see that. That's something that, like I said, it doesn't happen every day, and at the end of the day, it's kind of less worrying for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they don't got to be out here worried about this or that, or you know. And then there's some that'll probably look at it like, oh, that's less work for us now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they probably got different views and different emotions on towards that. You know what I mean? For the ones that are happy and proud about it, man, I respect that, and you know, it's appreciated.
Yeah.
And for the ones that don't, it's like that's your choice and your way of seeing, you know, how it is. Like, and that's totally fine with us. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's a positive thing, and it's either gonna be respected or not. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I respect it. I think it's definitely a higher move to make. Like, it's definitely a good, positive thing. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
You kind of shocked me on one of the interviews, man.
Right.
Like, how did the relationship between you and David Kenner even start?
So with David Kenner, so I had a friend while I was incarcerated that.
But before you start, tell people who David Kenner is.
Right, David Kenner's he's a high-profile attorney. He was you know, Suge Knight's attorney, Eazy-E, Tupac, like a lot of them back from those days. He was their attorney, and he was part of the whole Death Row Records, part owner of the Death Row Records, I believe, with Harry O and everything that they had going. So I was incarcerated, and I used to rap while I was incarcerated. Like I said, I was taking my rap with me everywhere that I go. And I used to have people crowding around me while I'll be rapping. I'm talking about blacks, Mexicans, whites, Indians, whatever you call it, they were there. They wanted to listen. I had people pop out guitars and play guitars while I'll be rapping, because they just wanted to be in that circle. I had the COs come back there and be like, hey bro, like, you guys can't all be back here like this. There'd be 30 of us hanging out in a little hallway where it's only supposed to be 2 people walking through there at a time, you know what I mean? But I got the whole hallway packed with people wanting to listen to what I had to say. And so from that point, there was a homie there that he was from Israel. He was an Israeli dude. He took a real good liking to me, man. Like, we would chop it up, and he liked the way I rapped, and he told me, hey, you know, how would you like if I had David Kenner pull you out and chop it up with you? And at the moment, I didn't really know who David Kenner was.
Okay.
I knew the name, but it wasn't nothing like
That's David Kenner.
That was
Yeah.
David Kenner, right? So they pulled me out for a visit, and I sat down, and one of the lady COs that was right there was like, you got an attorney visit? And I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for the attorney. She was like, I guess because on the paperwork it tells you who the attorney is, and she seen it and was like, David Kenner's your attorney? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, what the fuck? And she tripped out, and I was like, I tripped out, because I was like, why is she tripping, you know? And the other lady that was there asked her, like, who's David Kenner? She's like, that's $1 million attorney right there, like, that's the man, like, you know what I mean? And then he came in, there was this other dude they had an attorney visit in an attorney room, and David Kenner kicked him out. He went in there and was like, hey, we need this room, boom. They kicked them out, and me and him went in there. Me, him, and his two, like, his secretary or whatever, and his whoever people he had with him. So I went in there. He tells me, hey, so, you know, this guy that's on my caseload told me, you know, you do music really good. And I told him, well, I try. He's like, well, let me see, let me hear something. So I spit something for him. And I had David Kenner's secretary, which is a white lady, and his other partner there, he's a white man. His name was Brett. They were both bobbing their heads to my music, and I was like, tripping out, because I'm like, man, I got the white man right here shaking his head to this shit. Like, I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, it was something that was amazing to me. So he told me, rap another song. I want to see them give you the same expression that they just did to this last one. I'm like, all right. So I spit another one, and he was like, bro, what are you doing in jail? And I was like, my time. You know, I'm paying for my crimes, bro. That's what I'm in here for. And he said, look, if I was to be able to get you on a bail, get you out, get you to work with Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Eminem, he's like, would you be willing to go do that and then come back and do your time? And I'm like, hell yeah, like, I gotta do my time anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a plus. If I go do that, I got something to look forward to when I come home.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'm gonna work on that. So he left, but my timing was already getting short. We had already been there for almost 3 years, waiting, fighting our case. My time was basically getting shortened up. I had to take my deal already, or else shit was gonna be out the window.
Yeah.
So we waited and waited as long as we could, and I postponed it so many times, because that's the place I told you that I kind of got comfortable and didn't want to leave
money.
once it was time to leave.
Yeah.
Finally, I ended up getting sentenced. I had to call David Kenner and tell him, hey, look, there's not going to be no more bail, so don't even try it no more. Like, I'm already sentenced. I have to go do my time. He's like, look, man, get to where you're going. Call me every 6 months. You know, make sure just tap in with me. When you get home, we'll figure something out. I got there, bro. I called him every day. I was like, I called him every single day.
Yeah.
I didn't waste my phone time on no freaking females. I didn't waste my phone time on nobody but David Kenner.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is my future right here. He's going to be the one to help me kick this door in. You know what I mean? I already knew what I had. I knew what I had to do. I just needed the right tools.
Yeah.
So I stayed in touch with David Kenner to where it got to the point where David Kenner would tell people he's like my son. I talk to him daily, Baldy. He called me Baldy.
Yeah.
That's his nickname. For me, it's Baldy. That's all. He don't call me Baldacci. He don't call me Face LA. He call me Baldy. So everybody, oh yeah, I know Baldy. That's my son right there. That's like my son. So I stayed in touch with him, like I said, daily. And then when it was time to come home, I let him know, like, hey, I'm almost home. He's like, well, get out here and let's get to work. So I came home, and you know, we tried. David Kenner has a lot of other stuff going on, his career and his law and all that, which of course that comes first. You know what I mean? Before anything. And it's a process. You know, everything with the music, to me, it's a really big process. It's not overnight. I don't give a shit who you know. You still got ropes you gotta climb, and you got gates you gotta jump before you get to wherever you're trying to get to. Like, it's not gonna be you snap your fingers and you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like I didn't fall out with David Kenner, but I basically started doing my own shit and just allowing him to continue doing his law thing. And I just, you know, he was really, really busy.
Okay.
And I was really, really busy.
Gotcha.
So two schedules like that, they just don't really, you can't put them together. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's stuck doing his law, and I'm stuck doing music. So I can't say that his resources got me really too much further to where I'm at now. I kind of broke that down by myself, bro. Like, not myself personally, but of course with my team and with my boys that I work with, you know, my boys that I started with, Smooth Hustle, you know, to where I'm at now with the effort. Like, it was all of us. You know what I mean? We basically tore down these doors together. You know, whether or not some people are doing some certain things in life, I continue with the music, and it's definitely getting us to where we need to get at.
What year would you say that you actually made a decision, hey, I'm gonna take this music serious?
I want to say maybe 2000. So I came home in 2005 from state pen.
Okay.
And I started doing music, but like I said, it was street shit. It was recording in homies' garages type shit. I didn't know what a real studio felt like to record in. Then I got a little taste of it right before I went to the feds when my boys with Smooth Hustle. You know, they took me to a real recording studio and kind of gave me the ropes on how to record, how to do my ad-libs and do my oohs and ahs and do, you know, which I'm thankful for because I use it till this day. The same pattern, the same method, I use it till this day. And now it just feels like I kind of just got so comfortable in the booth that it's like a piece of cake now. I go in the studios and I surprise the engineer, the artist that I'm working with, whoever's in the place, they're surprised because they don't expect what I talk about, how I talk about it, and how quick I get it done.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like when I started really, really taking this serious was when I came home in 2011. I haven't stopped running since then. You know, I just been going.
Dude, so 2011. All right, so 2 years later, your dad passes away.
Right.
All right. How did that affect you mentally, bro?
That was a strong one, man. That was a strong point in my life because, you know, like I said, my dad was everything basically to me, like, you know, and that definitely was more than just a bump in the road. That was almost an immediate stop for me.
Okay.
I was seconds away from just saying, fuck it, I ain't doing this shit no more. Fuck this music, let me get back to the street, let me get back to my hustling, let me get back to my gangbanging, you know what I mean? Like I was in a bubble. I was in the music, so I had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I had to make a choice.
Okay.
And I felt like the choice that I've been making my whole life, which is the dope dealing, the gangbanging, hasn't really gotten me anywhere. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, yes, it got me, you know, a lot of love, a lot of respect, a lot of all that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as far as something to leave my kids, that's not the choice that I needed to make. I needed to make a choice that I'm gonna be able to create something for my children, for my family that's gonna be here after myself.
Okay.
So the music was definitely an option because I was good at it and because I was already knee deep into it, where it was like I had to keep running with this. You know what I mean? There's no turning back, there's no giving up, there's no stopping here. And my dad would have been proud for me to make that decision. So that's the main reason I made that decision, because my dad, I know he's looking down right now with a smile on his face. You know
Yes, sir.
Looking down or looking up, wherever side he's at, he's looking.
He looking,
Me and
huh?
my pops is looking, you know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
pops was a crazy motherfucker, man. So,
Straight to the studio after.
right? Yeah, I went directly to the studio when my pops passed away. The second he died, I called my boy Peterbilt. JR, I called him on the phone. I said, hey, check it out, bro. We need to go make a song. He got up. We went straight to the studio in Buena Park, Small Hustle Studio, and recorded a track.
You made a song for your daddy,
Made
correct?
a song for my dad. And that
Is that
song,
on? Is that on the Baldacci code?
No, that's on YouTube, right? But it's not.
Oh, it's just
not
like a
on another
single.
album. Yeah, I dropped it as a
with
single.
the video.
Okay.
Yeah,
Caught a violation for that video.
I actually did catch a violation for the video.
How?
Because I was on an ankle monitor when all that was going on. They had me on an ankle bracelet, and I went to go record the video. I told them that I was buying some flowers for one of my aunts that was sick or something, man. We went to the cemetery and recorded a video, but dude that shot the video forgot to edit the part where my ankle monitor was on it. They caught it, and they violated me for that shit.
Wow, that's
We
crazy.
went back and did a couple months, which, like I said, man, every time I go to jail, I look at it as it's either a blessing, you know what I mean? And most likely it's a blessing for me not to get caught up in something worse out here, or shot up, or being at the wrong place at the wrong time and getting myself,
Right.
you know, in a deeper mess. Violation wasn't shit. I was like, let's go do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'll do this on the toilet.
But
Yeah.
you said something real deep though, brother. Because you know, a lot of people, if they lose some, especially a parent that they was really close to,
Right.
a lot of people turn to drugs, or so a lot of people turn to their vices
Right.
to cope.
Right.
But you turn to music.
Yeah. And I feel like I already smoke weed, so it's like weed makes me cope with everything, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I look at it like any other drug that I use was only going to take me the opposite way that I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to take me back to everything else I do and everywhere, you know what I mean? What I'm used to. And I didn't want that no more. I wanted, positivity. I wanted something to be able to make my family and my friends proud.
You got a message for anybody, bro, that lost a loved one, bro? To like you have any oh shit, Tune, I'm over here still on that OG shit. What I'm trying to get out my mouth, bro.
Let me I had a whole nother question. Mine
you
though.
need to ask the question I'm finna ask.
Okay, shit, what you was about to ask?
What's your message for anybody that's lost a really good
Yeah, that.
There you go.
and how do they deal with it in a positive way?
So I think the only way to actually deal with losing
He hit that hoe.
losing a loved one and being able to focus and maintain is kind of looking at it like, how would they want you to react to this? How would your mom or dad or brother or sister want you to move after they're gone? If they were still here, they wouldn't want you to go backwards. They want you to go forward. They want you to be in a positive state. They want you to be in a positive mind and make something of yourself. And I looked at it like that with my dad. I said, you know what? Because my dad would listen to my music towards the end before he passed away and tell me, this sounds good. Make another one. Do it to this beat. You need to do this. You need to do that. So I seen that he liked what I was doing.
Yeah.
He acknowledged what I was doing rather than saying, oh, leave that shit alone, motherfucker. Let's go drink. Let's go get fucked up. He didn't encourage that. He encouraged me to keep doing what I had started.
Yeah.
You keep it going. So after he passed, I had to put myself in his shoes and tell myself, you better not stop. You better not quit. Keep what the fuck you started going and take that shit to the fullest extent, bro. Show them what you got. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So for you, music is more than just something that you do. It's more than a hobby. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of how you cope with things.
For sure. I feel like there's times where I don't go to the studio for like 2-3 weeks, and then the third or fourth week is like withdrawals. Once I get in the studio, it's insane. Whatever song I'm gonna do that day is insane. It's a fucking hit.
Right.
It's crazy. So I look at it like it's definitely more than a hobby. Definitely more. It's more of an outlet, for me, like to let out, emotions, to let out, whatever it is that's on my chest that day. I'm gonna go put that shit on wax and let the people hear it. You know what I mean?
No,
of course, it's weeded out. You know what I'm saying? There's certain stuff that I won't say or that I can't say or that I won't. That's taken out, and I put the stuff. I get straight to the point, but the right way when it comes to my music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want to know when did the effort start?
That's right. We're going.
And how did it start?
Either the end of 15 or the beginning of 16,
right?
Yeah.
I want to say the beginning of 2016.
Me too.
Okay.
Just to be for sure, the beginning of 2016 we created the effort. And like I said,
When you say we,
well, I say we because the name came from someone else. The name came from so you ever heard of Glasses Malone?
Yeah.
I was just telling him, Glasses Malone's brother was in the studio with us. And he basically,
Daddy.
huh?
Daddy.
No, that is the other one.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was in the studio with us, and he basically told us that we should do a mixtape called Effort. He's like, man, you need to make a mixtape called Effort, and then separate the two F's, and make it the EFxFort. He's like, cause that's just you. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a fucking label called the Effort. I ain't gonna make a mixtape called the Effort. I'm making a label. So me and my boy John right here, I've been knowing my boy John since 2001, 2002. From being in the system, we did a lot of years together in prison. And he was home, and we ran into each other out here. And he basically quit his job, bro. Whatever he was doing, he was cutting hair, doing like celebrity barber.
yeah,
He let that go to run full throttle with me with the music. I explained to him, I'm like, bro, I can't pay you. I don't have money to pay you. He didn't care. He said, let's do it. So we ran it. You know what I'm saying? And bro, now the seeds that we planted are starting to grow.
Yeah, man, they sprouting, bro.
Definitely sprouting, man. They're growing fast. Faster than we expected it, because at the end of the day, it's not, like I said, it's not overnight. This is something you got to dedicate yourself to. Something you might make family members believe that you forgot about them. You know? Because you're so into what it is you're doing. I got cousins, friends, family members that, hey, you don't even call me. You don't text me. Bro, I barely text my mama. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the studio recording. I barely text my uncles, my aunts. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm busy. And it's not for a bad purpose. It's for a good purpose. Like, this is something that I want y'all to be proud of. I want you guys to be like, hell yeah. That's why he didn't answer my text. This motherfucker on a flight to wherever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's doing it. So that's my main thing is, you know, the people that I don't respond to, just like on Instagram, I get a million messages. I can't answer every message. I can't take every picture with everybody that I'm out here seeing and running into. Like, there's times that I gotta keep pushing. I try my hardest to, especially the kids, when they approach me, like, can I get a flick? Let's get it. You know, let's get it. But there's times where I'm in full, you know, work mode where it's like, I gotta go, man, sorry, like, let me just get to this, you know what I mean? And I feel bad, but that's where this message comes in, you know what I'm saying? I apologize for not being able to tap in with everybody, but at the end of the day, my heart's there, you know what I'm saying? I respect and I love the people that love and respect me and appreciate and support me with everything that I'm doing.
Hey, so, hey, man, the fans want to know, how did the relationship between you and Yelawolf begin?
Right. So that started here, actually.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, right here. Started right here with so Esteban Oreo, which is my big bro, famous photographer.
Yeah.
He's also my photographer, and you know, he does a lot of stuff for us and includes us in a whole bunch of different things. Esteban Oreo had mentioned that Yelawolf was doing a documentary called The American Life, right? American Life.
Crackle, Sony.
Yeah, it's on Crackle. So Esteban told me, hey, check it out. You know, I got Yelawolf. He's shooting a documentary called It's American Life. You know, he needs a little area, grimy hood, you know, type of scenery to shoot some scenes. And I'm like, bring him over here. So he brought him, and you know, my homies that are here, you know, welcomed them with open arms and, you know, modelos and, you know,
Friday the 13th.
it was actually,
On Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's the hood day. So that's the day we're chilling. But
Oh,
at
so
the
Friday,
end,
it makes sense. Okay.
right. So you know, Friday 13 is F13. So we chill.
Yeah.
That's our day. You know, so we chilling, and he brings them that day, and it's funny because Yelawolf has a tattoo of Jason tattooed on him.
Ooh.
So my homies seen it, and they're like, "You got Jason on you?" Like, and he's like, "Yeah, that's me right there. I love Jason." And the homies like, "You know, it's Friday 13, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." The homies like, "You know, that's our day, right?" And he's like, "No, I didn't know that." So then my homie started showing him all the Jason tattoos, and he's like, "Oh, okay, like cool." So we just kind of clicked to where it was something magical.
Like
bro.
it was
We
meant to
shot-
be.
We shot in the alley, we shot in the front, we shot all the scenes that they needed. The homies barbecue, you know, respect to my fan band, the Speedies, and you know what I mean. They definitely showed out and helped your boy out with that, and we made this shit possible. And Yelawolf was attracted to it. He liked it.
Yeah.
He seen the roosters in the front and was like, man. He's like, this reminds me of Alabama, bro. Like, this reminds me of the hood. Like, and that's what was more valuable than anything. And he told me, this is crazy that he told me, man, we need to do a song about this. So my homies were like, oh, you know my boy raps. And he was like, for real? I was like, yeah. So we played some music for him. He was sold. He was like, oh man, we doing a song. And he told me, look, man, when I feel something, if I feel like doing a track with somebody, I'm not gonna charge him. We're gonna do it. And that's how that came about, bro. He
Hold
blessed
on.
me.
You gotta say this again. So Yelawolf told you want to do a song,
Zero charge. Bro.
zero charge.
Zero charge.
That's love, bro.
Right. And we got 2 tracks.
2 tracks.
So the first one we knocked out, yeah, it was crazy little ride. He rode with us in the car while we rode on the freeway, smoking joints, clouding up the whole car. He was just like, damn, you know what I mean? It was a whole bunch of smoke. And we wrote, we got to the studio, we recorded it at Frank Nitty's.
Yeah.
My boy Frank Nitty.
Shout out to
Frank
Nitty.
for sure.
I'm gonna knock your ass out when I see you.
Frank Nitty, my peeps, man. Frank Nitty, a really good dude, though. So we went over there, recorded the track, got that done. After we did that, it was a relationship after that.
Okay.
You know, now Yelawolf pulls up and he's like, hey, I'm over here at the observatory. Bring your people, pull up. How many can I bring? Bring as many as you want. It's crazy that I kind of like spoke whatever it is that I wanted into existence. From me being in the system, I used to watch BET, and I seen Yelawolf on BET, and I was like, how did this white guy get on BET? I said, this dude must be good.
Yeah.
So I listened to his music, and I said, oh, that's how he got there.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's a monster. You know what I mean? I listened to his music, I'm like, God damn, this boy a beast. He was like in the top 3. You know, like killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I said, man, you know what? One of these days I'm gonna do a track with him. And I did it. Same with Crooked Eye. I would hear Crooked Eye's music, and I kept telling myself, man, what would it be like to get on the track with Crooked Eye? Like, how would I even begin? Where would I start? And it happened. It's like I feel like these things are just things that I speak into existence. If I want it to happen, it's gonna happen, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing from God.
Hey, let's talk about the story you told us when we first pulled up by Crooked Eye about the song you did.
So everybody knows myself. When I get into the studio, it's insane. I write my music so fast. I write it to perfection, to a T, but it's really fast because that's the way I work.
You don't come with nothing ready to go. You write like
I write on the spot at the studio. I get it done. I get it done sometimes before the producer's even done with the beat. All I hear is the first little clap and snare, and then boom, I'm already writing. By the time he's like, oh, okay, I got the beat, I'm like, okay, I got the song. It's done. And they're like, even Misfit Soto trips out sometimes, man. He produces a couple tracks, boom, and I'm already done with it before he finishes the beat. He's like, what the fuck? Like, he trips out on it. You know, it's something, it's a blessing. So, most of the time, which 99% of the time, I've never had to rewrite a verse, ever. When I do collaborations or when I do features or whenever, I've never ever had to rewrite a verse other than with Crooked Eye.
Yeah.
Crooked Eye is on some whole other level. Like, there's no denying what the boy is, man. The boy's a beast, bro. Like, bro, I dropped my verse.
No pen, no pad.
Walking the booth with a fucking cigar.
I dropped my verse. After I was done with my verse, Crooked Eye was like, all right, let me go in. He went in. No pen, no paper, no phone, no nothing. Just, I could drop 10 albums right now if I want.
You got that much music recorded?
That much music recorded.
Speaking of music, man, how did the relationship with you and Conejo start?
So with me and Conejo, when I first came home and started making noise, you know, I started getting a lot of people reaching out to me like, hey, you should do a song with Conejo, you know? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, eventually, you know, we get around to it, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing. He was gone for a minute.
Yeah.
He was, you know, so he reached out from wherever he was at, and I really didn't want to communicate because at the same time, I'm walking on eggshells, bro. Yeah. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm trying to stay away from all that shit. So I got at the people that he had getting at me, and I told him, look, it's nothing personal against homeboy, nothing. I would love to work with him once I'm in the circumstances to where I can work with him. Because right now, I probably won't make it happen, only because, like I said, I'm still dealing with the law. I'm on probation. I'm on all this shit. I said I don't want to bring no heat towards myself or my camp or anything. You know, they were patient. We walked it out. Finally, I was off probation. They reached out again, told me let's run it. So we made it happen. We made that track. Yeah, Prime System was the first track we made.
Which was a dope song.
Yeah, it was definitely dope, man. It was good to be able to put two homies like that on a verse, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't always happen, getting two, because our gangs, they're not, you know, compliant either, like at the same time, but we still were the bigger person when it came to the music and made it happen, you know what I'm saying? And didn't get negative feedback from it either. We got a lot of positive feedback from that. A lot of people were like, damn, that's dope, you guys should do another track. So we're like, okay, that's cool. We ended up doing another track. We did one with Elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Well, people don't know
we shot another one with Misfit as well.
For people that don't know, L Boy, that's Gangsta L.
Gangsta L, yeah, the homie. And then we also did another one with Misfit Soto that we shot a video to as well.
Yeah.
Yes, we got a lot of little different features and collaborations that we've been doing, and I've been opening up a lot more when it came to, like, you know, spreading my music out, because, you know, at the end of the day, it needs to be out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I work with a lot of different artists, and I make sure that I give people the opportunity. Sometimes there's people that you would be like, why is Baldy on this track? But at the end of the day, it's like, some people get at me correctly, Some people approach me with the right numbers.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, get at me wrong, and those are the people that are still waiting on features.
Yeah.
You know, those are the people that have been, hey, you need to do a song with me. No, I don't. Bro, you know what I'm saying? I'll get with you when I feel like you came at me correct to get on the song with you, like, and that's how I go about, you know, my music. I got music with fools that people are like, why do you get on the track with him and won't get on with me? Well, homeboy approached me and said, hey, I got this much money, I want to get on the track with you.
Yeah.
And I work with his budget. You know what I'm saying? Because he took it the right way, approached me the right way, and got the payment in. Some people I can tell you, hey, look, I'm only going to charge you $300, bro. That's not what my verses go for. I'll charge you $300 because you the homie. You should do it for free. Nah, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm giving you the best of the best deal or opportunity that I can, and you're pushing it away. So I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't get on that level if that's what you're expecting. Like, especially when you expect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I, like myself, I don't expect nothing from no one. If I ask somebody, hey, let's do a track, depending on where they're at as far as, you know, their how can I say it? Like where they're at with their music and with their life and everything, their social media and everything, depending on how, you know, much higher they are than myself or lower or even equivalent. Like, I understand there's people that are higher in the music that got more stuff done than me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna expect for them to be like, hey, this is how much I charge. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna be, oh, you need to do it for free.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. You know, if I'm approaching you, it's because I'm ready to pay you.
Yeah.
You know, for your time, for your verse. You know, and at the same time, people that are at my equivalents, I feel like it's word for word. You do it, you want to do a track, let's do it. I'm not charging you, you're not charging me.
Yeah.
Let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and like just like with the track with like Conejo and all that, we didn't nobody paid nothing. We just did them. You know what I'm saying? We just made them happen, and that's how I feel like it should be. You know what I mean? Like, of course, there is people that are starting out that are, you know, a lot lower as far as like social media wise, music wise, that might be like, okay, well, do a verse with me for free. Sometimes I will.
Yeah.
You just gotta come at me correctly.
Exactly.
You gotta make me want to do it, and I gotta hear something that's gonna motivate me and be like, damn, I need to do a song with this dude. You know what I mean?
What's going on, John, baby?
What up, man? What up, man?
Hey, man.
Cliff, Real Tune TV.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
man, tell the people, man, who you are, man. People don't know.
I'm John. I'm Baldacci's business partner, his manager. Shit. I guess the one behind the scenes with the effort. Yeah.
All right, so the question I had that was brewing in my mind, man. What draws people to Baldacci, man? Because people like Spliff D, people like
myself.
Yeah.
Like he said, 10 days after linking back up with him, I'm like, let's roll.
Yeah.
It's just me knowing him, and I heard him rap in prison. And you just knew he had something. There's no denying it. Like, so I wanted to go fucking meet this dude and fucking be friends with him and shit in the pen. He just had that magnetism. You knew that motherfucker had talent. You knew that if he had the chance to do something, he was gonna do it. And then I saw a video. He was in the feds doing a violation, and I was working for a studio cutting hair, and they had done a video for him. I'm like, I need to get in contact with him. That's my boy. And went to the channel, like, oh, he's busted. All right. So a few months go by. I pull up to a video shoot to help out in some form or fashion, and he's there. He'd just come home within a few weeks, and linked back up, and we kind of picked up like quickly. The next day, we talked, and he's like, hey, I'm over here. So I went to where he was, and pretty much from that day forward, we were going every day, pretty much 24/7.
Surviving off of gas station hot dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Every day.
No.
Stopping at the gas station, pumping gas, buying 3 hot dogs. We split those motherfuckers, eat those, drink 1 Gatorade, back on the road.
What happened the next day though?
It just was nonstop.
Next day was
No.
the same
I ain't
shit.
talking about that. After the
No, we was
hot
used to
dogs.
it, bro.
Yeah, used to it. Bro, got adjusted to it.
We
Man.
eat prison food, bro. Like, we used to eat
Yeah.
prison food. Like, that shit was
Yeah.
phasing us.
We survived off that shit, man. Beef
Yeah.
jerky.
I just knew, like, just hearing the music,
Uh-huh.
now that it's behind beats,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this motherfucker. He had the Baldacci Code was the only thing that was out at the time.
Yeah.
That's-
Which was the first album.
First album,
Yeah.
yeah. So I had that in the car and just couldn't stop playing it. Like every track was a banger. I'm like, God damn. Playing it for people that didn't know who he was. They'd get in the car and they'd be like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, this is, and so I just knew. I don't know how to explain it other than I just knew like this is what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. So,
But
I
it-
quit cutting hair and ran with it.
And that's what I want to point on, John. It had to be something about Baldacci character.
You just know. Well, I know for a fact. I know what he's saying is true because
Okay.
I've witnessed most of it.
Gotcha.